How we doing, folks? Welcome back to another Chief Sarcan video. Here I am giving you a tour of my Exodus setup. As you can see here, we're slowly flying up towards the rocket. I wanted to give you a basic layout and the basics of my information of how I did things. So let's just take a look here. Oh, not quite high enough. There we go. Tried to come in nice and smooth and I screwed it up. There we go. Anyway, so we landed up on the top of the deck. If we look down below, you can see my basic setup. I have power running down the helipad extension. I also have underneath of it, I have petrol lines running up the ladder that's down there. That comes up, comes through here, and then comes to my tanks to provide my power to my engines that I'll show you when I get down there. And then I have a few more power here along this line, and then some trees for decoration. Anyway, and then obviously up here I have a couple of statues just to spice up the launch platform, a storage box to put my materials for the nose cone. And yeah, simple, easy. Let's go downstairs and take a look of how it's set up. Coming down here. Coming down too fast. Oop. Boy, I'm just showing you how not to fly. I usually do much better than this. I'm trying to be in a hurry and it's not working out in my favor. Okay, stop. Gyrocopter is not something you fly in a hurry. Know this, but anyway, let's get back to the tour. So over here I have lots of power batteries running up underneath of here, and that was just to get them out of the way. I mean, if I wanted to get crazy, I could have just kept going with them, but it wasn't really necessary. This is just what I did before. I have 2 water expansion tanks, and I have all my tanks lined up here just for looks. The water is to fill the Sabatier reactor to provide my methane, and I have 1 methane tank, and I have 2 oxygen tanks that come off of it. And this setup is designed to be able to launch 2 rockets in quick succession. So I have enough power, enough methane and oxygen in the tanks with this running automatically. So as soon as it starts taking any methane or oxygen up to the rocket, this engine will turn on to provide the carbon dioxide input into here to produce my methane and oxygen. And the solar panels will keep generating power, but if I get low on power, I can turn this one on to help boost electronic production. I have 5 petrol tanks just to make sure I have plenty of fuel and I don't have to refuel very often. But the fuel, as I said, runs all the way down underneath, as you can see down there, down to the ladder, so I can come in and supply it from my ship as necessary. If I need to fill all 5, I can build some temporary tanks and go to Black Veil and just sit there until they're full, so I know fill these up, or I can just jump a little at a time because my ship only has 2 petrol tanks. But as you can see, I've got quite a bit of petrol left, and these don't take that much. And I'm kind of done launching rockets for now, except for 1 more memory rocket. Anyway, so the water generation goes down to here. I have 1 pump here. There is 4 pumps that come in the facility, and I have them all hooked up just because, but you only need 1. 1 of these will fill 3 of these, and I only have 1 because I just don't need that much water. Anyway, and then like I said, I got the trees just for looks. This was before we got Pichon, so I did not need trees except for whatever. And then I put a light in the middle just to help, because sometimes they complain, I don't have enough light. But they do produce pairs, and I dump them in this box until I'm ready to launch them in the rocket. Anyway, and like I said, I have the petrol coming down because I have not updated for 5.0. I could have shortened this whole line, but I kind of like the way it's laid out now, so I'm not worried about it. Comes all the way over. Comes over here. and then drops down right next to the ladder. About halfway down, I had to put a connector to take it to the ground, and then it's down to the bottom, and then I have a line going out each side so I can park on either side and connect the ship. So that is the setup. I'll give you one more little point. I'll show you when I get back up to my chopper. I do have a box over here, so I have a repair material, so if I need to repair any of my power, I have a little box with supplies there. I have my power line and my oxygen and methane line going up each ramp. Now, I could have separated oxygen and methane, but since it's not really necessary, I just have the basic setup that I can connect and do everything there. So that is my simple setup. I do have separate power at each of the other facilities. So the launch control has its own one solar panel and one windmill at that place, and then over there for the elevator, I have the same thing at the other side. Otherwise, that is it. That is the Exodus setup that I have. Much better landing. Put it back in position for secure at sea. Go, line it up there, pop that there, pop that there, and now it won't move at all while we're at sea. Anyway, that is my Exodus setup. I hope you got some good tips out of it. Leave your comments, questions, concerns in the comments, and we'll get back to you on the next video. Thank you.